While everybody is talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2 for all the wrong reasons, let's discuss the other EA DICE game that's just as shallow but hasn't been fucking up as badly in Battlefield 1. A teaser trailer for the Turning Tides DLC was released, and half of it was shit we've already played, and not much new is shown other than an attempt to latch onto the current hype around Call of Duty World War II and beach landings, so we got a World War I version of it. We did, however, get some actual 411 in the blog post, including a release date of December 11th for the aristocrats that have premium as an early birthday present to me being born on the 12th. In playing with the aquatic theme, they indicate that the DLC will be in waves, how punny, with the two maps we've seen on the CTE, Achibaba and Cape Hells, more on that later, along with 6 new guns, 2 melee weapons for those that like to flail around wildly in a shooter game, and a new ship, the L-class destroyer, to go with the new operations, that is a recreation of the 1915 British amphibious assault of the Gallipoli Peninsula, which will probably feel like Operation Neptune. Then in January, we get the 2 other maps, Zeebrugge and Heligoland Blight, as well as a new faction, the Royal Marines, which actually isn't a new country, thankfully this time locked behind a paywall, but just a nice shiny blue uniform, and the C-class airship. Get it? It's a ship, but like in the air? Anyways, it also says that the plebs without premium won't be able to purchase this new DLC until 2 weeks after the January drop, then it can buy the entire package. I guess DICE had to split up this DLC from its original December drop date to keep in line with fucking over its premium members even more by releasing the Revolution Edition for $60, which is basically giving the season pass away for free, along with doing premium trials now through December 4th and the weekend of December 8th and 11th, so that you could play on all of the DLC maps for free, and taking the Frontlines game mode, which is originally DLC only, and putting it into yet another map, Suez, on November 27th, even though they still haven't made any of the conquest changes to the map that were in the CTE versions going back 6 months ago. The CTE also had the Frontlines game mode for both the maps Sinai Desert and St. Quentin Scar last week, so I'm sure we'll be seeing that update into the base game coming at some point in December or January. Listen, I understand that splitting up the player base on maps walled off behind a paywall is dumb as shit, but what the fuck did I spend $50 on premium for if you continue to devalue it even further and further? I guess I'd rather pay the extra money so that this game didn't turn out like the shitfest that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is, that has free DLC yet is gutted to the point of mobile games-esque pay-to-win models. They could have done what Titanfall 2 did, but that was far too consumer-friendly for an EA-owned studio to do instead of an EA-contracted one, but that's flushed down the toilet now that EA has bought Respawn. Anyways, back to Battlefield 1 and the CTE. The 2 aforementioned early Turning Tides maps are now available to be played with actual textures this time, starting now and running through the weekend. The servers are open all the time, which is a welcome change from the announcements about the Gilligan's Island 3-hour tour going up like 15 minutes before the start time. However, there are meetup times listed in the Battlefield Live CTE Reddit, so that this way you'll know when they'll be more populated. There's also 3 new melee weapons, of which the grappling hook and naval cutlass will be part of the December drop as they're more fitting of the oceanic theme, and the Ottoman flanged mace that looks like the vanilla club with some new textures. Speaking of melee weapons, there is a Totokia club free for all Battlefield 1 players to celebrate the disaster of Star Wars Battlefront 2's launch, which you can equip or shake overhead madly at how shitty your teammates are. There is a hotfix that was rolled out last week as well that added servers running both vanilla and DLC maps to the quick match setting, which is used for idiots that don't understand how to work the server browser to pick your own fucking matches to be exactly what you want, along with adding icons for the current operation campaigns in the server browser. In lines with that, there is a new operations campaign called Fall of Empires, which started on the 22nd and will run through December 6th, which combines the Operations Conquer Hell, which is Ballroom Blitz and Argonne Forest, with Iron Walls, Mont Grappa, and Empire's Edge, not the Oil of Empires you'd expect from the name on this one. This way you can enjoy the first half's maths and load the second half as you try and capture or defend the second set of objectives on Mont Grappa that are underground. What did not make it into any of the patches as of yet are the new specializations, which caused a huge backlash. Well, I mean, in comparison to the backlash against Star Wars Battlefront 2, it's actually kind of pathetic now. Anyways, there were 2 new specializations for each class tested on the CTE, and 3 of them were aura-based specializations that helped out either yourself or your teammates just by being close enough to them. These were Medic's Aura and Mobile Arsenal, which would heal or resupply nearby allies if you don't have your medkit or ammo box deployed, but was negated by suppression, and Deft Recon, which would periodically reveal nearby enemies on the minimap. I don't know why they just didn't bring back the ability from Battlefield Hardline to either grab ammo or meds from teammates that are either medic or support players, which would solve this problem of having to deal with those players that don't know their role, as The Rock would say. Maybe it's because DICE wanted to encourage teamwork, but then why would you put in these fucking aura abilities? It makes no goddamn sense considering that design decision. The Battlefield Hardline method of grabbing asses like George H.W. Bush is much better than auras, because the players that need actually have to go over to the player on their team and actively do something versus getting shit for free. Plus the minimap reveal perk, what the actual fuck? I didn't realize that portable radar machines were around during World War I. Since the weapon shots are not revealed on the minimap and only spotting does this trick, this perk is vastly superior than any other in the entire game. The other new scout specialization is called Ripple, where headshots would reveal nearby enemies, which again would punish the teammates of some dipshit that stuck their head out for too long to get their wig split. The last perk is being reworked to allow scouts to contribute to larger team fights but not fuck over other players, and apparently the other three, quote,
were carefully designed to fill very specific roles with the corresponding soldier kits, and were certainly not designed to be overly passive in use. The details of this design were not communicated effectively prior to their release on the Battlefield 1 CTE, leading to some crucial elements being missed. We'll be sure to communicate these details going forward.
No, it's not an explanation that's why these perks suck, it's because they're fucking dumb ideas. This just drips of the PR bullshit that was all over the Star Wars Battlefront 2 AMA, which should have just been the quote,
sorry we got caught and we'll undo the thing we wanted to do and show our hand until enough time cools down that you guys forget about the outrage and this whole thing blows over so that we can get back to our regularly scheduled fucking in the ass.
A redesigned Ripple, which hasn't yet been playtested, along with Pilferer for Assault to encourage melee in a shooter game by having melee kills drop useful items for their kit, Reciprocity for medic to heal yourself when you heal an ally, Perseverance for support to gain increased walking speed and explosive resist when using the wrench, along with 2 new tanker and pilot perks will make it into a future patch, but unfortunately, no cavalry perks yet due to how the class selection screen is implemented. Oh, I can't put a fucking description, so therefore let's throw all the baby out with the bathwater. I'm assuming that this means the December update for the Turning Tide is when we'll get our hands on this shit. Anyways, what do you guys think about the new info? I've been The Schwans27. Make it like a tree and getting the fuck out of here. Until next time.